First of all, I want to get clear. How are you pronouncing your character's name?
Loki.
Loki. Because
Yeah.
I swear Anthony was saying Loki all the way through.
Well, he's Welsh, so maybe that's. I think he says Loki,
Fair.
like that in his deep gravitas, sincere way. Yeah, there you go, Loki.
And so how many times have people said, have you given a Loki performance?
A few times initially when I got cast. Yeah, my friends were like. In fact, I got given by one of my best friends a very, very tiny key, and it was supposed to be my talisman for the. He said it's for a low door. It's the key to a low door. I was like, nice one, Tom. I see what you're doing there.
And of course, I saw the film yesterday, and I genuinely really enjoyed it.
Oh,
It's
terrific.
Great fun. What got me about what you had to do, it's that helmet. I mean,
Yeah.
what was it like having to wear that all the time?
Yeah, well, you know, it is in the comics. Loki has a pair of satanic horns on his head the entire time. So if I didn't do that, I think I probably would have scrimped on the character in some way. But it also makes you stand up straighter. But the costumes were so beautifully made, but they had a weight to them. So when you've got film lights shining on you, it can get quite hot under there. And then if you put what I used to call the steel balaclava on my head, there's nowhere for the heat to go. So my brain would slowly turn to scrambled eggs, which is, I think, why Loki is so angry all the time. But, you know, it gives you so much. It's like, I remember reading something where Christian Bale was trying not to complain about wearing the batsuit and how hot it was in there. You know, it gets, of course it gets hot when you're wearing heavy costumes, but you get to be a superhero, so... There's no complaints.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, right at the end of the film, there's a bit where you have to lay down with your head back. Were
That's
the horns
right.
getting in the way there, or did they have special horns for laying down scene?
They didn't, no. No, I guess it's just, it all feeds into the mix in a way when you're shooting. You have to roll with the punches and go with the flow. And I do think that the weight of the whole costume and the weight of those horns on my head kind of fed into Loki's distress in that moment.
Yeah.
You know, he's really he's not in a happy place in his own mind at that point. And so any kind of discomfort that just goes with the territory, I think.
And when you first got the role, I mean, what did you know about comics, or what did you know about Norse gods, or did you quickly go to Wikipedia and...
Well, no, I knew about the sort of the mythology. But also as a child, I had a pack of Marvel superheroes top trumps with all of their like vital statistics, and so I knew Thor and Loki in the Marvel context through that. But from day one, it was just about immersing myself in the world of the comics, and the more I read, the more of a fanboy I became in my own way. In a way, they're such extraordinary stories. The size of them, they're so deep and rich, and they kind of take you in different directions, and very cool.
I mean, if you read a few, did you read the one where Thor gets turned into a frog? Have you read that one?
I must have done, yeah. I don't remember that one specifically right now.
I was just wondering whether you'd like Loki to do that in any sequels.
I do remember that, actually. It's one of his... Yeah, there's an element of the sort of shape-shifting aspect of Loki, which I always liked. You know, I remember there's a version where he turns a whole street of cars in New York into ice cream. And then he goes down and turns whales on Earth into sea serpents, just to see how the sailors cope, and those kind of things. So he does a lot of kind of magic spells, which I don't get to do so much in this one, but hopefully in the future I will.
Well, I mean, you just mentioned that. I mean, it seems now definite that you're involved somehow in Avengers at the very least.
I don't know that's true, actually.
You don't know that?
Yeah. I know that Loki will come back. I really don't. I know that Loki's going to come back in some capacity. Lurking in the shadows in some unpredictable way, but I actually don't know that it's going to be the Avengers. So,
I just kind of assumed that from the post-credits scene.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I don't know.
We'll see.
Who knows, man?
And I mean, obviously, the other big thing about this film, as opposed to your usual superhero film, is Kenneth Branagh directed it.
I know.
I mean, you know, what was it like having him as a director, and how did his big Shakespearean background, did that come into it at all?
Oh, I think so. I mean, I think his he's such an amazing storyteller, and he has a kind of mastery of the beats and twists and turns of what really makes a good story. And Shakespeare's plays are full of kings and queens and princes who are all competing for each other's affection and pride. And really, this is exactly that. This is a king and his two sons who are princes competing for his affection, love, and pride. I think what's wonderful about Ken is he's got an appreciation for the genre. It's a huge sci-fi, fantasy, adventure epic, but wrapped inside that is a dynastic drama and also a kind of comedy caper romance as well. So it's really amazing what he's done, I think.
I mean, when he originally met with him, what tone did he say he was trying for the film? Because I was quite surprised by the tone and how he embraced the comic so much.
Yeah, I think he always wanted to make something classic and weighty. He didn't want to be too glib, and I don't think he was interested necessarily in emulating other comic book films. Like, I think he wanted just to put his own stamp on it. I think he has an innately warm and redemptive heart. I think he wanted there to be some sort of redemption in a way.
Yeah.
And it's a very pure story. It's about, you know, the hero's journey from arrogance to humility. So
right.
That was
just been wrapped up. Got one final quick question: if you were a god yourself, what would you want to be the god of?
Oh my goodness! At this moment in time, because I'm not as good as I would like to be, I'd like to be the god of piano playing.
Excellent.
There you go, because I'm trying to get better.